Hello, hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your June 2019 overview reading. This is good for you if you're a sun, moon, or rising Sagittarius. And before I lay this spread out, I wanted to let you know that I have launched a podcast. I'm super, super excited about it, and I wanted to share that with you in case you would like to listen. And that is in the description box. The link to get there is down below. So check that out if you're interested. Now I am going to lay these cards out and then we will get started. Okay, so I'm going to pull these oracle cards. And hello and welcome if you're new here. Thank you so much for watching. And just go ahead, tune in if there's anything you want to get out of this reading. Just notice it. Request that information to come through. Take a deep breath into the diaphragm. And if you are curious about which decks I used in this reading, they are listed in the description boxes always. One more card. Okay. So the truth bomb for you this month is less proving, more living. So really check in with your motives around what you want to accomplish, what your goals are, what you're trying to do, who you're trying to be. Where is that coming from? Is it to prove something to someone else, or is it purely for yourself? Is that the highest expression of yourself? And that's really what this card is reflecting to you. Now, I had you guys vote on Instagram which oracle deck you wanted, and you chose the animal spirit deck. So we have raccoon. I think there's a few things coming up with this card. One is that you're really going to want to be conscientious of the moves that you're making, like just in terms of where are the stories coming from? What are you telling yourself? This is showing me your internal world. So there's something about like the fact that it's shadowed out that's giving me the impression that this is saying like, hey, look in those dark spaces. You might have some information coming through that's really important for you to keep in mind this month. And then the word of the month is clarity. Refine your communication. Be conscious about your true desires before jumping in. Witness, reflect, then move forward with purpose. Okay, all good things. So whichever statement stood out to you with this card is what you needed to hear. Usually one statement resonates more than the others. So the central energy for you is the Four of Wands. Things are coming together. This is also about home and family, enjoying yourself, taking your time, just watching things collaborate and come together and marinate. Now what you have shifting out is the King of Cups. Let me clarify this actually, because I'm not sure if this is a person or something else. Two of Cups. Okay, this actually looks like a person because this is about connection. So I think rather than this being a part of you, this looks like somebody who's just needing to kind of leave your space, or who you have outgrown, or who no longer resonates with you. Or maybe this is simply someone who was giving you insight or information that you no longer want to take into account. That happens sometimes as well. Like the people that you went to before no longer have the information that you want, need, or are really calling in. So that can also be something that's shifting out here. But it has to do with the connection that you made somehow is dismantling. Now, on the other side of things, this is what's helping you to feel into how things are coming together fully. So for some of you, like let's say you've manifested a healthy partner, this could actually be the continuation of that connection, of that relationship, right? So there's, if this isn't necessarily a shifting out card, it can also be like the past energy. And then this is something that you're building off of. But the important thing to keep in mind here is that this is a significant character in your life right now. Whether, regardless of like what their sign is, I'm not going to say like, oh, it's a water sign male. Like that's not necessarily true. It's just that this is a character that you have a connection with who's in your life in present time, has either recently left or is continuing into your future. So let's see what the oncoming energy is for you. King of Swords, how funny. So this is like the clarity and independence of thought and mind. I'm going to clarify this one too, because this is interesting. Temperance. So for those of you who are manifesting partnership, or if like you had someone phase out, it looks like you needed that space for your ideal partner to come through. So that's just for those of you who are more geared towards relationships, although and this isn't technically a relationship reading. On the other hand, this can also be the way that you're approaching things and your mindset around things so that you can build and have this experience of things coming together with the healing that you're doing and also the version of yourself that you're stepping into. The King of Swords is about taking an approach that works for you and not really worrying about what other people think, feel, and have an opinion about you. So this is just about you kind of carving your own path and doing what's best, right, and true for you rather than focusing on other people. So again, go back to that less proving, more living. That's definitely sitting here in this oncoming energy as well, with it being balanced. Like there are some people that are whose advice is worth considering, and there's a whole lot of people whose advice is not worth considering. And your whole job is to discern where exactly is where are you placing value when it comes to those people. These 4 cards that I've laid out, top and bottom, those are a little bit more fluid, so I didn't actually set a specific or concrete intention on them. It's more of whatever you need to know, whatever's coming through for you this month is what's going to make an appearance. Page of Pentacles, this is about initiation. So the energy of getting started and actually planting that first seed. So this is kind of like the project starter card. And then we also have the 7 of Cups having lots and lots of options. Lots and lots of options. Seriously. So I think that like once you start or once you initiate, you're going to be really surprised by how quickly things come through. They're really going to be pouring in, definitely when it comes to like you taking the initiative. If you don't start, if you don't initiate, then it's going to be a little bit harder to see the rewards or to have that come through. So make sure you're investing in that. Make sure you're doing that because it's going to be a big help. And then Knight of Swords, we have this sitting underneath. Let me pull the other card as well. 7 of Wands. So it really is going to take some adjustment with whatever it is you have going on. So the Knight of Swords is like pursuing those ideas, right? The Page of Pentacles is about actually doing the damn thing, but the Knight of Swords is about the conceptual and the cerebral experience that you're having and what you're pursuing in that way. The 7 of Wands is more about rising above the challenges that might present themselves, or, you know, if you're having someone come through and be a naysayer or someone who's trying to kind of like cut you down in some capacity. I'm not getting that. It's just an example. This is about rising above the criticism, above the judgment, above the things that you have projected on you, and instead just, again, carving your own path, doing what's best, right, and true for you, really staying in alignment with that King of Swords energy. And it's all about like independence of thought, independent of pursuit, independence of decision making and what it is that you're investing in, like what option you end up taking. So you want to pursue the idea that you have, you want to plant the seed that you've had on your mind, you want to listen to that nudge. And when an obstacle comes up or when there's a challenge that presents itself, you want to continue moving through that because it's going to support the long-term big vision, project that you have going on. Okay, let's get into the timeline. So the first, second, third, and fourth quarter, that'll be where you end the month of June. First thing coming up for you is the Ace of Pentacles. Same thing with that initiation energy, just the getting started energy. So it seems like that's something you want to do at the beginning of the month. If you plant a seed now, you might be surprised by what happens as a result by the end of the month. Because the Seven of Cups is saying, hey, you're going to have an abundance of options available to you if you actually apply yourself here at the beginning of the month. The second quarter, we have the Father of Wands, the King of Wands, 3 kings in this reading so far. The important thing to keep in mind is once you plant the seed, you want to make sure you're watering it. So just because you take one action doesn't mean you get to throw in the towel right away or just set it and forget it. Some things are like that and others are not. So this is more about you want to plant the seed, continue watering that seed, nurturing that plant, taking care of what you have going, and then you're going to see things pick up and take off. But if you ignore this completely once you do the initial work, then it's not necessarily going to be sustained. So the Father of Wands is saying you want to make sure that you're applying a little bit more of that fixed energy, like being able to sustain it over time. Now, the third quarter for you is the High Priestess. Listen to your intuition. Is there a gut feeling or something that you know is right for you? That's what you want to go with. Again, it's less about proving or doing what you think you should or playing by the rules. It's like that. It works sometimes, but it may not be the most fulfilling option. So does it really work? And if there's something that you want to take a risk on or a conversation that you need to have or whatever the case may be, the High Priestess is saying that's what needs to take place and that's what needs to happen. Through and through. Listen to your gut. Listen to the part of you that really wants to listen to the part of you that wants to take action. Like, what is your soul calling you to do? And then wrapping up the month, we have the Mother of Swords, Independence. This is equivalent to the Queen of Swords. So really coming full circle and prepping you for that King of Swords energy, right? Like that's what this month is setting you up to do. And I think that once you realize that you can do the things that you want, you can make the moves that you want to make, you can trust your intuition, you can trust your gut, it's actually going to be really liberating and it's going to bring you more balance. Like, oh, wow, I do have more permission or I do have the information that I need to put myself in a position that feels good to me. And that's what this whole thing is all about for you this month. Now I'm going to do a 3-card pick. So you're welcome to ask a question, maybe tune in if there's something that you've been wanting, if you have some specific information that you're needing to have come through, just set your intention for that now. And there's no wrong way to do this. You can pick as few or as many cards as you want. It's totally up to you. Okay. Card number 1, we have the Chariot, forward movement. Messy action is better than no action. The Chariot can make you feel like you are a little bit out of control, but that's just a perception thing. So even if you do feel out of control or if you are out of control in terms of the way things end up moving for you, it's still worth it. It's not something that you... It's not something that you need to like shy away from. I would much rather see more people taking action on the things that feel good to them than holding themselves back because of, proving or expectation or what you should be doing, you know, that type of stuff. So it's okay if it feels a little bit unstable. That doesn't mean you're not getting to where you want to go. It doesn't mean you're not making progress. It just means that it's a novel experience, which by nature is going to be destabilizing. And then card number 2, we have the Queen of Cups. Be vulnerable, be open and honest about how you're feeling, what you want and need. Just be in a space of honoring what comes up for you. There's no wrong way. Okay, let me back up a second. There is no wrong way to be vulnerable, but there are irresponsible ways to be vulnerable, like emotional dumping. You don't want to emotionally dump on someone. So be vulnerable responsibly, you know, don't go popping off every second of every day. It's more about like just honor the feelings that are coming up and then make sure you're sharing that whenever possible, even if it's hard. Like especially if it's coming from a place that has a lot of mental power or mental influence over your decision making, make sure you're reflecting back how you feel. Like if this is a parent or family member or somebody that you need to have a conversation with or set a boundary with, make sure you do that and honor those feelings that are coming up, because if you don't, then the person doesn't know and they can't fix it. Card number 3, we have Strength, personal power. Make sure you're seeing things through. Just because you have stuff going on, or just because you're having a hard time, or just because, you know, it seems like it's not going to work out, doesn't mean it's not going to work out. It's just about seeing it through. Even if you're like, I don't know how this is going to play out, or I don't know what's going to happen, you want to keep going. So this is about maintaining your personal strength and your personal power, because I mean, it's worth seeing things through. You know, you don't want to walk down the line and end up looking backwards and asking, what if? You know, that wouldn't be ideal. That's a bigger risk than keeping steady and moving through what you need to move through. So that's what the Strength card is reflecting to you here. So keep going, keep moving, keep doing what you need to do, and you're going to see payoff in some capacity. Thank you so much for joining me today, everybody. I always, always, always appreciate you, and it is such an honor being able to do these readings for you. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and follow me on Instagram at Onyx Healing. There's been lots of good stuff going on over there, so make sure you check that out. And just so you guys know, I have made a lot of changes to my website and what exactly I'm offering. So I'm doing way more work with people one-on-one in individual sessions. I have been dialing back the private email tarot spreads that I was doing. I am really taking a step back from those and working with people one-on-one. But if you are interested in doing some energetic healing with me and more of the deep healing work, that is absolutely what I'm available for. And don't forget, I still do lots of tarot on Patreon. There's weekly sign-specific readings, as well as the monthly love and relationship readings for every sign. They're big readings like this. So all of the links for that are in the description box. I hope you check all of that out if you're interested. There's lots and lots of varieties and options for everybody. And don't forget, I have a podcast out now. The link for that is also in the description box. Please check that out. I hope you guys enjoy it. And until next time, I wish you nothing but the best, everybody. Have a wonderful June, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.